Okay, we're recording. So, the teen course. So some of you guys have done the children's course with me, and bye, Ellie. And some of you have not trained with me at all. Oh, here's Richard. Hi, Richard. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. How are you? We're just about to start.
Hi,
So,
hello, hi.
You're just checking in to say hi to us today.
I'm teaching in 10 minutes, so I've not really got a lot of time. Just coming to say hi to everyone. Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely, because Ellie's just away to go to work as well. She's just left. She just said goodbye.
Okay. That's
And
all good.
everyone's just. It's quite nice that you're able to integrate this into your life, and the fact that it's a lot that's pre-record. So I was just saying to these guys that we've that even though a lot of it's pre-records every morning, I'm going to put the day's work into your Facebook group. You can still ask questions, interact, and I'm still holding your space. I'm still there, so it's not going to be faceless, and you've got each other as well as that. So there are going to be PDFs and all that sort of stuff. So I'm just a way to go and out the course and just let you know what's happening. So, okay. So the teen course. Teens, they are more complex, but I would say, Kerry's recently taken over. She's one of my graduates and has done the children's with me as well. And she's just recently taken over one of my teen classes in a health club, so I can dedicate my time to the trainings. And we've spoken about it, and the teens, it's one of my favorite classes to teach, but they are very complex. So you really it takes a while for them to for them to open up to you, but when they do, it's absolutely amazing. And I've recorded a lot of like how to teach them, everything like that. But I always do a trigger warning before the teens teacher training. For those of you who've done the children's training, you know that you've got to embrace your inner child. You've got to find that inner child, and it's a bit of a personal transformation for some people. Just a 4-day course being a child, because some people have kind of lost that connection, and they find themselves. Yeah, Lisa, have you got a question? Oh, were you just waving? Okay. Hi.
I was waving to Kay to say hello. And I forgot, and I was on you. I'm so sorry, everyone. It is the Dippy What's-It down in England.
It's a friendly group. That's what I like to see. Yeah, so the trigger warning for teens, you're going to be delving deep into your inner teenager. And for me, some of you guys have known when. Stop fighting, the cats always do something. They're fighting now. When I go run these trainings, I put my heart and soul into them. And when I'm writing the manuals, I study a lot. I practice a lot. I get as much information as I can. So I studied a lot of neuroscience for this. And the teen brain is absolutely fascinating. But as I was studying the teen brain and teens, I had to delve deep and look at what happened to me in my teens, and it made me understand a lot by myself, which was, it changed a lot in the sense that yoga is self-awareness. But so embracing your inner teenager is great, because we all need to do that. But it might bring up some painful stuff if you did have a difficult time as a teenager. Okay, so I just thought I'd trigger warn you there, but it's so beneficial. And we're in Scorpio season, where we have to embrace our shadows. We have to do our shadow work right now anyway, and we're moving towards the new moon in Scorpio. Apparently this weekend's going to be a little bit mental energetically. So yeah, it's a good time to delve into teen yoga. So yeah, so I put everything into segments in a sense, so you're not going to be like overwhelmed with me just speaking at you for hours and hours on end. You know, from a Spara yoga perspective, you have a dominant nostril every 1.5 to 2 hours, and so your concentration span kind of tends to wander off every 1.5 to 2 hours. So it's very much doing it in little blocks as well. So I liked, you know, the philosophy is something that's a huge
I have to
thing.
go, Louisa, sorry.
Oh, no
Off
problem.
to teach
It's lovely.
teenagers, so better get going.
May the force
See you later,
be with
guys. Good to meet everyone.
See you
Bye.
later. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Okay, bye. So yeah, so philosophy is a big thing, the yogic philosophy. So we're going to delve into how you would apply that to teenage life as well. We're going to speak about understanding teenagers, how to teach them because there is a difference. I think people think they're mini adults. You teach just kind of adults class, or they think it's like you just kind of change the kids one. There's similarities between them both, but there's different things that you can do. So I'm going to speak you through it through the course, and hopefully you'll feel you've got something from this. Hopefully. There's anatomy and physiology with the teenagers as well. We're going to speak about class planning. We're going to speak about stress and anxiety. Mindfulness as well is a big thing for teenagers. We've just recently finished yoga for mental health teacher training, which is really important in this day and age right now. And that was another trigger warning for everyone. If they're going to be working with yoga and mental health, you've got to delve into your mental health to understand the people you're working with. You have to reach into parts of yourself that can understand, in a sense. So the mindfulness thing is really good for, you know, is something that is used for stress, anxiety, and depression. And there's a lot, it's quite prevalent with teenagers. So we're going to speak about like certain things, eating disorders, things like that, that come up for them. Meditations. Also, we're going to discuss, there's going to be a little thing on eye yoga, chair yoga. There are lots of different things. Yin for teens, just lots of things, like adding, you know, you've got the tools, so giving you ways to use them, and then teaching teens that they've got these tools within them, they can use them and apply them, and how beneficial it can be. Okay, so hopefully that's a little bit of understanding. You'll see as you go through the course. For the assessment, for those of you who've not trained with me before, I will be putting in little mini exam papers for you to do. The teens and the kids are different to the other ones in the sense that you only have like the 2 little exam papers. Some of the other ones you've got lots of other ones, just so I know that you've got an understanding. For the other 40 hours, you need to be a 200-hour teacher first to be accredited. So, but with the teens and the children's yoga teacher training, you don't have to be a children's yoga teacher first. And you don't have to be a yoga teacher first. You just have to have been going to classes and attending classes for at least 2 years. So have an understanding of what yoga is. But the teens and the kids teacher trainings will accredit you to be a children's or a teens yoga teacher. So this is why you don't have as lengthy exam papers, because, you know, it's not so, you know, you don't have to kind of not prove yourself, but I really want to see your assessment for your video. So Lisa's already, she did the children's one with me not that long ago, and you just went through it, did your thing, and you're now a children's yoga teacher. Yeah, it's amazing. So Kerry's already a children's yoga teacher as well. So you did it before Yoga Alliance changed it to 40 hours. It was 60 hours when you did it. So yeah, we're just going to, so that you've got your exam papers, they're only little things, so you don't have to worry. And most of the answers are in your manual. okay? Or they'll be in your lectures. There's nothing that you really need to investigate further, but if you want to, I think if you find something more interesting, go off, and I always urge you to find your own unique teaching selves and really go with your path. Okay, I don't want to churn out any genetic clones of me. I want you to share what is deeply passionate for you and be really yourself. That's the main thing. The more you're yourself, the more teens will come to you. If you hello there and you're pretending to be somebody you're not, children and teens pick up on that, and all of a sudden the walls go up. So it's a bit like people that walk into your house. I love babies. I love dogs, and then they're all over your animals, your babies, and all of a sudden the animals and the babies are like, oh, it's like the same with teenagers. You don't go straight in there. It's very much they need to form this trust, this bond with you. But when they do, it's amazing. So it's not just going to be you're teaching asana with teenagers. We normally start a class and we're in a circle, and I normally do cards with them, positive affirmation cards or something like that. So it actually opens them up a little bit, so they all get a chance to speak. And then they sometimes share what's going on for them that week, and it sometimes be to do with periods. Sometimes it's to do with boys, or, but there'll be boys, sometimes teen boys come to your class as well. But, and that's when the dynamics change. I think, I don't know if the boys have started coming to the class again, Kerry, but the last time I taught, it was the dynamics brilliant when the boys start arriving, when the girls start acting. It's great. And the boys love it too. It's like they end up loving the more, like the forearm balancing and the wall work stuff. This is if you love doing forearm balancing, wall work stuff in your own practice, the teens are the ones to work with for that, If you love being a child and being silly and being on magical adventures, children's yoga is great. I'm very much a fan of that as well. But teenagers, if you want to really work with like fear releasing, challenging postures, the teens are your people. Adults have this fear ingrained in them, and you've got to gradually you get them to come out of their fear when you're teaching them. So that's the last part of your exam is you have a class to teach, a 45-minute class, and I wanted to have some sort of BAV or theme in a sense, not just a generic teen class. It could be a teen class for stress, or it could be, you could tell me what the age group is or what type of class it's going to be. You make it your own, make it interesting, so I don't want to you to be like, all right, so just make it your own, and don't think, oh God, she's told me I've got to be interesting. Oh, the pressure's on there. You are interesting anyway. You're individual, unique human beings, and so all I'm saying is make it your own, and it doesn't have to be really a big theme, but I just want to know your reasoning for why you've taught that class. So like the pranayama, the breathing techniques, I would like you to include a pranayama in your, and maybe a meditation or a visualization, and the shavasana needs to be kind of all tied in together, so that they all make sense why you chose them. In a sense, not just I'll teach that and then pop that in. So just have that idea if you're going to do that. And you've got up to a year, so it's not like there's no pressure. You don't have to do this as an intensive. You can work this around your life. Especially, I know, Colette, you've got young children, haven't you? So yeah, it's difficult when you've got a job, small children, or like I'm on granny duties today. It's being able to, we don't know what the government are going to throw at us next. Things keep changing, and you can throw us, but knowing that you've got this time and there's no pressure. I don't want to add to your pressure. Okay, so if you want to do it in a quicker time, that's absolutely perfect. Okay, just know that sometimes if you send me in your assessment, that might be a week where I'm running an intense live teacher training, and I might not be able to mark your assessment or look at it, you know, until I'm freed up to give you that time. So if I've had a few people like send me their assessments and their videos and go, I haven't heard from you. It's been 12 hours. I'm like, what? I'm really sorry, but I'm running lots of other trainings right now. As soon as I have time, I will sit down because I don't want to be multitasking. When I look at your classes with the adult stuff, you know, the Moonology, I've got Kerry's Moonology one to do. I will do it. I will actually, so I can feel it in my body. I'm not going to do the kids ones, the teens one, because I really like to see the way you interact. So I'll watch it, but I don't have any other distractions. So I'm not trying to do everything all at the same time. Hence the reason, one day if you send it in, it might be a day that I'm catching up on everything and you'll get it marked like that. So just be aware that you might not get it straight away, but I will try and do it as quickly as I can. And so today I will register you all as Teen Yoga teacher trainees. And then when you pass, I will make sure I give them the right name. Because I've told Yoga Alliance that Lisa was Lisa, but it's Elizabeth, and I'm very sorry. So, and I think I did Kerry's certificate in her old married name as well, which is really ridiculous because Kerry's my friend, as you know better. So I will be more switched on to everyone's name. So if you specifically want a specific name, you want a middle name on your certificate, please let me know. Please let me know. I want to be able to really hold your space and not make any mistakes. Okay, so let's begin. I'll stop rambling on. So we're going to begin, and I'm just going to give you a generic children's yoga class. And then once we've done that, I'm going to let you go for the morning and then download all the rest of the things for you to work through in your own time. Okay, well, every day you're just going to get a batch. Instead of me giving you 4 days worth, here you go. Every morning or every night time, I'll release the next day's thing. And that seems to work. And so you don't feel so overwhelmed. So I will release the rest of today's videos and work after we've done a class. But I just think it'd be quite nice to practice together today, and I will be teaching you as if you're teenagers. Okay.
Louisa, can I just ask? Can we just introduce ourselves as to where we are? So I know I'm presuming you're all up in Scotland. But
no, Colette's not in Scotland, and Richard's down in England as well. So I'm so sorry. I should have done that. No.
It's just it helps me sort of visualize where people are, and you know.
I think there's more people down south actually this time. But normally it's all the Aberdonians up here in Scotland, all the Chuchters. But no, there's a lot of you and Colette. You're not English, are you? Oh,
can you hear me?
Yeah.
I don't use Zoom. This is probably the second time in my life I've used it. Yeah, I'm in Yorkshire, so I'm in East Yorkshire, which is where I'm from.
Okay, whereabouts?
In between Hull and York, so it's at Brough. It's like a commuter village. Yeah. Okay. How about you?
I'm down in Oxfordshire, south of Oxfordshire, so between Oxford and Reading. So okay.
Yeah, we've just moved from Essex. My husband is French, and we met in Australia. We were living in London, then we moved to Essex, and then we've just been back in Yorkshire since November. So we've sort of moving around quite a lot. I've got a 2 and a 4-year-old, and my family are here, so we've moved back up here.
Lovely. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm literally about, I don't know, a third of a mile from the River Thames. So I have lots of walks along the Thames, and I've got 2 dogs that come in. And Louisa thought I was crazy when I did my video of my children, because I had pictures of the 2 dogs.
No, I didn't know who they were. I didn't know what you were, because they had names, and I was thinking she's talking to her cushions, I think. Yeah.
I've got them behind me.
Do it.
No, it's your vibe attracts your tribe. That's so yeah, Carrie lives up here, but she's from down south as well. I'll let Carrie talk. Yeah.
Yeah, hi. So I am actually from Devon, on the edge of Devon and Cornwall, and I've been in Aberdeen for nearly 7 years with my husband's job. So my big kids, I've got a much older kid he's 28, he's in London. I've got a daughter in Plymouth in Devon who's 25, and then I've got one teenager left who's 17 this week. So when I came to Aberdeen, I must be honest, I wasn't overjoyed at the thought of coming to Aberdeen because it's to do with my husband's job, but actually it's really beautiful. And finally, now I've found my lovely friendship circles and got on my yogic path. I really like it, but eventually I'll probably end up back home in Devon, in Cornwall, because that's where I'm from. So yeah, through Louisa and other yogi friends, I started off with the kids yoga. That was so much fun, and then went on to do my 200 hours, and I'm now working towards my 500 hours, which I've been doing lots of different modules. Just finished the mental health module, which was really intense. It's all very brilliant, but I am feeling like, right. And then I have to remind myself that I do have over a year to do all of this. Mm-hmm. And it's just a case of pacing myself. So it's actually quite lovely to do this, because I am the only live classes I have now are my teens and my kids, because they're the only ones that are allowed. But generally I teach, all summer I was teaching in people's gardens. So I work a lot with the elements outdoors. And I'm also a professional dog walker, so that's my real other job. So the two of them go really well together. So yeah, it's lovely to have the teens, and I'm grateful for them, because like I say, they're my only lives at the moment. So yeah, so it's always nice to meet other people and do different things. And I'm hoping all these learnings over the next few days, I can actually test them out on my teens on Monday. So see what happens.
Yeah,
it's quite a lot. I've really been so pleased that the online thing has. We've been able. You guys have, like, there's so many. Like Kerry's been on the 300-hour journey with a few others, and you've never met a lot of them in real life. Kerry and Ellie are both doing the 300 hours with me, but it's almost like you've formed this friendships and bonds as if you've only met in cyberland, and it's so lovely, because every morning when we've been doing some of the intensives, there's like we're forming like really strong friendships through it as well, and you wouldn't think through Zoom land that could happen, but it is more tiring, isn't it? Working, speaking at screens and looking at screens. So it's Kay, are you here? There she is.
I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So I'm Kay. Hello, everybody. So I'm in Aberdeenshire, so further north into the west than Louisa. I've got a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, and struggling to remember, there's so many of them now. And what is he? He's 3. So got a busy house. I'm not originally from Aberdeenshire. I'm originally from Dumfries and Galloway. So we moved up here really for my work. I'm a geologist, but I left the industry, thankfully, about 18 months ago, because it just wasn't working with the kids and things. So I've landed on this yogic path, and I'm absolutely loving it, and just absorbing everything. And as Louisa says, I'm on our 200 hours at the moment, and did the children's, well, I haven't finished it, but did the children's in October, and now this, and it's just fascinating, and I'm just loving it, and just kind of trying to find you know, what I'm going to be, what kind of yoga teacher am I going to be. So, but yeah, just loving it and excited to learn more.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, it's so we've got such a always have a lovely group. I'm really blessed with the people that join my courses. So thank you so much, guys. It's a shame we never got to, I should have got Richard to introduce himself before he left, and I feel really bad about that. So sorry, Richard, if you're watching the record, and we'll properly chat to you on the last live. Yeah. Okay. Oh, thank you for reminding me, Lisa.
No, that's fine. The only thing I was going to say is, I know we've got, you know, lots of, you're going to upload it, but if anybody wants to sort of have like a FaceTime call, then just say, and we can, I don't have an account with Zoom, but we can do, you know, up to 40 minutes free. So we can always check in and have a conversation and a coffee over the next couple of days if anybody wants to.
Yeah, it's great. Oh no, that sounds really good. Yeah, so I'm sure they'll take you up on that offer as well. I think it's really a lovely thing to do. Thank you. But you've got your Facebook groups. You can, and then you've got, you know, so you can organise that between yourselves and do your organise all that sort of thing as well. So, are you ready to be teams with me? Yay! Okay. So I will. Oh yeah, and also I'm saying that we didn't get Richard to. We didn't get Ellie because I know Ellie. Ellie was. I trained Ellie as a 200-hour teacher many years ago. How many years ago was it? 3 or 4 years ago, something like that. So she's been a yoga teacher for a wee while now, and she's on the 300-hour with Kerry just now, but she had to go nip off because she's the partner in a law firm as well. So she's really busy with her work right now, which is great because there's a lot of people who aren't busy with their work. So yeah, so Ellie's brilliant. Ellie's smile lights up a room. So okay, so I think we'll get started, and if you've got any questions, we'll stop afterwards, and you can ask me. Okay, so let's start by doing some cards. So oh yeah, everyone's on mute. Okay, let's start by doing some cards. So these ones, I've got a video that I've recorded for you, or recorded in the last team training, of using props and cards and things like this. But this is the one that my teams really like. It's the Mermaids and Dolphins and Magical Creatures of the Sea, and they're by Gillian Kemp, and they're 52 cards for affirmation and divination. I tend to, normally I would go and get them to have one card each, get them to tell me the number of it, and then in the little book, I will put what it says into more layman's terms, as instead of your adults, deep spiritual stuff, I will kind of translate it into teen language in a sense. So one of my jobs before I was a yogi, I worked for the NHS, NHS Grampian. I was in the public relations department, and one of my things was to help to do the proofreading and the copywriting for what the doctors gave us to be put out to the public needed to be worded into layman's terms. Otherwise, the way doctors try to explain things sometimes can be really. So that was one of my jobs. So it probably kind of helps a little bit when you've got some deep spiritual stuff and you're working with teens. How do you break it down? So it's just like, if you look back at, if you were a teenager, or if you want things simplified as an adult, how would you just break it down? So I'm going to draw one. Oh, 2 cards came out. So I'm going to draw a card, but I've drawn 2 cards, so it means I have to share them with you. Normally I would give them 1 each, and it gives them a chance, because there's some teens and some kids that want to speak all the time, want to be noticed, and some that just want to hide. And it just allows them all to know that they matter and that they're noticed. It's more than just doing cards, really, if you're meeting them, if you're doing it in real life, it's something that allows them to feel seen. So a lot of the time when they're teenagers, they don't feel seen. So yeah, but if we're doing it online, I did a lot of teen yoga online. You know, during the first lockdown, teens, they were taking me into their bedrooms and, you know, asking me lots of questions, emailing me afterwards, and they found it really, really helped. And so teen yoga online really works. So that's something that for you to think about, because there's not many teen yoga online classes. And, you know, as you can see, you guys are all over the UK, well, England and Scotland, and we can communicate. So you can do teen online classes for all over the world, if you want to think big. There you go. You can reach the teens of the world. So we've got number 22, the NYX, and we've got number 47, and I wish I hadn't picked that one. He's a bit of a beast. So number 22 is the NYX, and the keyword is vigilance. So vigilance, I don't know if I would use, yeah, I would use, because there's some very intelligent teenagers. So I use large words too, and the ones who don't know the large words won't really care that you've used a large word. They'll just, you know, as adults would be like, oh, you know, she's used a large word, she's making me feel uncomfortable. Teens don't care that you've used a large word, they'll be on to the next thing. Okay, so you want to keep the the ones that are really articulate engaged as well. So you don't want to, you're not babying them and going, hello, boys and girls. There's some very, very, very emotionally intelligent and intellectually intelligent. It doesn't go hand in hand, by the way. I've got my oldest daughter's a hairdresser, and she's a very emotionally intelligent. She's not stupid, but she doesn't do big words very often. My youngest daughter, very, very intelligent, really cerebral, but you know, emotionally, she's not so understanding of emotions in that sense. So you'll find that with teenagers as well. You'll have very intelligent ones that don't do common sense and things like that, and you'll get the ones that maybe don't do big words, but they're very emotionally connected. And you can have, it doesn't have to be, you can have both as well. So having that understanding too. So vigilant, so the NYX is a mill pond dweller that administers justice. So it advises caution and foresight. You may risk gaining one desire to the detriment of a superior plan. Love will have a happy ending, whether it's with somebody who you're not with or with someone new, and financial wealth is forecast. There you go, guys. Very nice. But just be vigilant, be careful, keep an eye out and be careful. So here we go as well. And you've got the beasts of the sea here, and another one, caution. So as I said, the energies this weekend, and the teens love to hear about the moon cycles, what the planets are doing, the science of the planets and what's going on for them. They love to hear about chakras as well. So popping these things in from almost like a scientific based thing and making it fun, interesting and alchemic, they will enjoy this. Okay, so it says you may be between two difficult or fateful works, or between two equal dangers. Trying to avoid one, you fall into another. So it says, they indicate, so there's lots more to this, but I'm just picking up what you would say to teenagers. They indicate you may be tempted to fall in with a wrong person or situation. If you're in two minds about something, seeing the dangers will help you to avoid repeating or make greater mistakes. So don't hang about with dodgers. There you go. That's that's what I'm saying. That's what I would say to teenagers. Okay, but you guys need to stop hanging about with dodgers as well. I'm only joking. Okay. I'll get my coat. Okay, so you're all gonna lie down now, and you can place your feet together into Baddha Konasana. So lying down on your mat, place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. close your eyes. You can breathe in through your nose and then out through your mouth with a and again, breathe in through your nose. And close your eyes. Keep your mouth closed now. And really just start to connect with your breath. Be aware of your belly rising and falling. Start to smooth out the rough edges of your breath. Be aware of any tension in your body and imagine that you're like an ice cube melting in the sun. Letting go of anything that's worrying you right now, because this time is your time. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. And I want you just to know that you're perfect just as you are. So you don't have to be all bendy to do yoga. This is about helping us to be more of ourselves and be happy with that. Your breath nice and smooth. Be aware of your hand on your belly and your hand on your heart. And then draw your knees in, pull your knees in, give yourselves a wee hug. And then rock yourselves up to seated position. Okay, so it's time to do a wee warm up, I think. So let's warm ourselves up. So we're starting off rolling your heads around a big circle. Round the other way. Your head back up to center. You're going to drop your right ear down towards your right shoulder. Relax your jaw and your shoulders. So those of you who've done the children's yoga with me, when I've said you don't do the rights and lefts so much with the teens, you start to incorporate the rights and the lefts, but it's not as technical as teaching adults, okay? So it's more simplified. Take your head back up to center, drop the left ear down towards the left shoulder. Keep the shoulders nice and relaxed. Relax your jaw. Is your breath still nice and smooth? But your jaw, is your jaw relaxed? Take your head back to center. And then you're going to look over your right shoulder, keeping the shoulders relaxed. And as you inhale, the rib cage is going to lift and expand. And as you exhale, it's going to contract and go back down. So really try and open up your lungs here. We tend to only use about 1/3 of our lungs when we breathe. So let's really try, and the more we can get the fresh air into our lungs, the more you can get rid of all the stagnant stuff that lies at the bottom. So it stops you from feeling sleepy and gives you more energy and helps you to sleep at night. So let's look the other way, looking over your left shoulder. And again, really open up your lungs with your breath here. Feel your rib cage lifting and opening up as you breathe in. As you breathe out, you can almost feel that belly button going back in as well, and up slightly. The yogis call this pure breathing. Take your head back to center. And then if you don't have a dodgy neck like me, you're going to take your head all the way back. You can even imagine that you're breathing the color blue in the front of your throat, because this is the color of your communication chakra. It's about asserting yourself, sticking up for yourself, speaking your truth and communicating well. So blue is a color for helping you stand up for yourself, speak up for yourself, and speak your truth and know who you are. Take your head back to center. Interlace your fingers, take them behind the back of your neck. The elbows are pointing towards the wall in front of you. And then with your breath, imagine you're breathing a white light up and down your spine. You can breathe in, bring the white light all the way up the spine. And as you breathe out, bring that white light all the way back down. So keep working with this little visualization. Then releasing. And then let's shrug away our worries. Breathe in, breathe out. And slowly rolling your shoulders back and forwards. Then holding your hands like this, breathing in, stretch up high, inside out hands, breathe out. And again, breathe in, inside out hands, breathe out. Get your hands to face each other. Keep the shoulders relaxed, breathe in the left, breathe out the right. Breathing in, breathing out. Coming to sit on your heels. Breathe in, bring your chest and your throat forwards. Breathe out, curve your spine and tuck your chin in. So breathe in, breathe out. Place your hands onto your shoulders. Breathe in the left, breathe out the right. Breathing in, hold the breath for just for a little bit, bring the awareness to your eyebrow center. Breathe out. So the eyebrow center here is known as your third eye. So that's your intuition, really listening to your heart sometimes and really coming into what feels good for you. So coming into cross-legged position, keeping your shoulders relaxed. And circling your body, big deep circles. The boys like to do this too, so you'd think, oh, teenage boys, would they do this? They just have a little smile to themselves, just to give them a little nod and a smile over to know, acknowledge, yeah, sometimes it feels a bit silly, but don't worry, you know, so there's that always that acknowledgement, catch their eye, give them a wee smile and know that sometimes the things that we do feel a little bit weird or makes you feel self-conscious. So go the other way if you've not started going the other way. Take your left hand down to your left side. Inhale, right arms up and over, drawing that left shoulder away from your ear. Look up at that right palm. Big deep breaths. So lateral poses, side stretches are good for enthusiasm and seeing the world in a different way. Looking forward to doing things in the world. Gives you inspiration. Let's go the other way. Tend to do everything on a very linear, we tend to go forwards and back, and we don't tend to work with the side body so much. You want them to feel more inspired and enthusiastic with life, side stretches. So you're going to get your right hand, place it onto your left knee, left hand on the floor behind you. Breathe in to lengthen and breathe out to twist. Breathe in to lengthen, breathe out to twist. Bringing tension out of our body. So let's go to the other side. So left hand onto the right knee, right hand on the floor behind you. Breathe in to lengthen, breathe out to twist. Breathe in to lengthen, breathe out to twist, and releasing. Just feel that nice juicy feeling going on in your body now. So place your feet together again into Baddha Konasana. And don't worry if your knees don't go down. My knees I've been trying to get them down for over 20 odd years and they're still not there, so it doesn't matter. It's the thought that counts, isn't it? So breathe in to lengthen, and you're breathing out to fold forwards. So just really breathe acceptance into where you are in your body and in your life. And with every breath out, feel yourself melting just a little bit further. Nice deep breaths. So we sometimes hold a lot of tension and emotions in your pelvic area. So imagine when you breathe out, you're letting go of any worries you may have. So just breathing in white light of positivity and love. As you breathe out, just let go. Breathe in to come all the way back up. Take your feet a little bit further away from you now, as you can see. This pose is called Talasana. So you get your hands over your toes, breathe in to lengthen, and then breathe out to come forwards, taking your head towards your feet. Nice deep breaths. Sorry, someone was trying to call me. Breathing in to come all the way back up. No one ever tries to call me. So come back to cross-legged position. I was doing a Zoom call yesterday and my daughters kept trying to call me. I got really excited and then I realised that they were just phoning to complain about life. It wasn't because they liked me. So yeah, so you're gonna, hopefully I made them feel better. So we're gonna stay cross-legged. We're gonna move into a pose called the cow's face pose or Gomukhasana. This is sometimes called the shine. It gives your soul a shine. It buffs up your soul and makes you radiant. So get that right leg, lift it up and take it over the bent knee. You're either staying there or you're taking each foot to either side. Take your right arm all the way up to the sky. Take it down your back and the left arm comes underneath. Try and open up your right armpit, tuck the chin, and imagine an invisible string pulling your head up to the heavens. So if you're already a 200-hour teacher, if you're already a yoga teacher, sometimes you find it difficult when you're teaching teens or children to be less technical. So you're just kind of stripping it back. You don't have to teach so much alignment. You know, teenagers are being told what to do by their parents and their teachers all the time. You try and tell them exactly what they should be doing. It sounds too much like being told what to do. They'll almost rebel against you. So just get them to go into it and be okay with that. So alignment isn't as important as it would be if you're teaching adults, but it's there compared to the children. Okay, so releasing, take your arms out in front of you, your right arm's crossing over to wrap around the left. This is eagle arms. So it's good if you've been in front of a computer all day. So either staying there or lift your elbows up. Nice deep breaths. It's also good if you hold a lot of tension in your shoulders and you don't realize that you do. And then releasing, feel that nice warmth in your shoulders. Come back to cross-legged position. Then you're going to get your left leg, lift it up and take it over your bent right knee. So you're either staying there or take each foot to either side. Just make sure you're not sitting on your heels. Your knee doesn't feel achy. Okay, you can put cushions underneath your bottom if you need to. Take your left arm up to the sky, take it down your back. And the right arm's going to come under and try and hold on. Don't worry if you can't quite hold on. You can even get your dressing gown belt or something and use that to help. So you'll find one side is not as easy as the other. And that's absolutely normal and fine. So remember, you should be breathing nice and deep here. And imagine that invisible string pulling your head up to the heavens. Keep your spine nice and long. Then releasing, take your arms out in front of you. Your left arm's crossing over to wrap around your right. Then you might want to lift up your elbows if you don't have shoulder problems. Most of you guys, if you're teenagers, you've got youth in your side, you don't tend to have shoulder issues until you're grown ups and we've done stuff to ourselves. But just being aware of the contraindications is sometimes good. And then releasing. Moving onto your hands and knees. So from here, little gentle cat-cow, inhaling to look up and curve your spine, exhaling to go the other way, carving your spine the other way. Your gaze is at your navel. Inhale to go one way, and exhale to go the other. So just feeling, this is good if you've got lower back issues, it's good if you've been sitting down all day. And then you can even move your hips from side to side. One of my teachers said to me, you know, I've used this quite a lot now because I like the idea of it. So you're moving your bottom as if you've got a big bushy tail and you want to show it off. And I think teens would like the idea of that. But showing off your big bushy tail, it's a nice way to release your lower back as well. It was actually the person that trained me as a pregnancy yoga teacher. Okay, so find your drishti point, your gaze point, and you're going to lift up your right leg. Reach back with the opposite hand, the left hand, to try and hold on to your foot, to your ankle. So you'll find that when they first start doing this, they'll be falling all over the place and going laughing and everything. But you'll find after a couple of weeks, they're so strong in their bodies, and it gives them that, guys, it gives them faith in themselves. It's really amazing to see after a couple of weeks of doing this, how strong and steady they are in their bodies. When they first do it, they're all over the place. Really interesting to see with teenagers. Nice deep breaths. Stretching out through your fingertips, stretch out through your toes, tuck the chin in. Drop your left hand and your right foot. Turn to the right arm's coming all the way up to the sky. So your eyes are staying there. Or you can straighten both legs, stacking one on top of the other. Or you can even bend that top leg and take the right arm over. Slowly coming back down onto your hands and knees. Find your drishti point, your gaze point, and then lifting up your left leg, reaching back with the right hand, draw the shoulders away from your ears. Smooth out your breath. And then stretch out through your fingertips, stretch out through your toes, tuck your chin in. Drop your right hand and your left foot. Turn to the left arm's going all the way up to the sky. So you're either staying there, or you're straightening both legs, stacking one on top of the other, or you're going to bend that top leg and take the left arm over. And then slowly coming back down onto your hands and knees. From here, you're going to curl your back toes under, all of your toes under actually, not just your back toes. And push up with your hips and press back your heels into downward facing dog, our first dog of the day. So you can bend your knees, move your hips, move in any way that feels good for you, walking your dog. Very good. And then from here, you're going to breathe in and come forwards into upward facing dog. Breathe out, down dog. Breathe in, up dog. And breathe out, down dog. So most teenagers can do this. A lot of adults can't. But give them the option, if they want, that they can come down onto their knees. Exhale to sit back and inhale to come forwards. If you see that they're all capable, don't give them that option, because teenagers a lot of the time, even if they know it's the best option, they'll take the worst one for themselves. or they'll check out, they won't want to push themselves, especially the teenage girls. So give them more of a challenge. Take your feet together now. Inhale, lift up your right leg, bend your knee, open up your hip, look over that left shoulder. So you're either staying there or you're allowing your foot to come all the way over, coming into wild thing. Slowly coming back into downward facing dog. Inhale, lift up your left leg, bend your knee, open up the hip, look over your shoulder, either staying there or come all the way over. So you'll notice that if I teach an adults class, I wouldn't be going into wild thing. I would be giving more modifications. Like I wouldn't be doing such like more wild things in some ways, because there'll be some adults that can't do it. Teens, they like to be challenged. And you give them the option, you do this, or stay here, or take it further. So come all the way back, come down onto your knees, arms down by your side, and rest your forehead down. Just check in with your breath and see where you are now. So teens have the strength in their bodies. They need to move their bodies. They're still in the kind of the kapha stage where their bodies are strong and supple. And the more that they can really work their bodies in a sense, it's going to keep them strong and supple. It's just when they get to my age, you're more vata, and you need to not work too much with your joints and your muscles. So yeah, taking them that little bit further, not giving them too much choice. It can confuse them, and sometimes they take the wrong choice. Yeah. So from here, hands at either side of your head, gently push yourself up, then curl your toes under and push up into downward facing dog. Inhale, take your right foot forward, drop your left knee, the top of the left foot, arms all the way up to the sky. Inhale, oh, just breathing a little feather. Inhale to open up in your chest, exhale, hands to the heart center. I don't know where the little white feather came from. Inhale and exhale. I know where it's gone. Keep working with your breath. From here, you're going to take your left elbow to the outside edge of your right thigh. Palms together, looking over your right shoulder. Either staying there, or if you want to deepen this twist, you're going to take your left hand down to your pinky toe and the right arms coming up to the sky. Nice deep breaths. So twists are really good for balancing the body, balancing the emotions. So they're really, you need to incorporate twists into teens' lives, really. They bring out tension in the body too. And then gently releasing, place your hands to the inside of the foot, walk the foot out a little bit, dipping your hips, and then slowly coming forward. You can come down onto your elbows, but if you can't, that's okay. Some of you might want to come down even further. It's up to you. Just work with your breath. And as before, as you breathe out, just let go of what you're holding on to. Any worries, any negative thoughts, you don't need to hold on to them. But as you breathe out, let them go. Breathing in to come all the way back up. Place your foot into the middle here, hands at either side, curl the back toes under and push up into downward facing dog. Inhale, take your left foot forward, drop your right knee, the top of the right foot, arms all the way up the sky, crescent moon. Inhale to open up your heart, exhale, hands to heart center. From here, you're going to get your right elbow to the outside edge of your left thigh, palms together, looking over that shoulder, either staying there or taking the right hand down to the pinky toe and the left arm going up to the sky. Nice deep breaths. This is good for your digestion as well. So if you get worried about stuff and you end up with stomach issues, this is a good one. Gently releasing, place your hands to the inside of that foot, walk the foot out a little bit, dipping your hips and slowly coming forwards. Nice deep breaths, and again, with every exhale, just let go that little bit further. Inhaling to slowly come back up, walk that foot in a little bit, hands at either side, curl the back toes under and push up into downward facing dog. Breathe in, take your right foot forward, swivel the back foot, bend the front knee. We're moving into warrior one. So you're heel to heel and your hips are square. You're pressing down with the outside edge, the back foot, front big toe. Inhale to straighten that front leg, exhale to bend it. Keep going. On your next exhale, keep that knee bent. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, draw the shoulder blades together. Keep going. From here, reach back with your fingers, interlace your fingers behind the back, keep the front knee bent. Inhale to open up in the chest. Exhale to fold forwards, trying to work your head towards the instep and your arms are coming up into ostrich pose. Or some people call this the humble warrior. Inhaling to come all the way up. Ooh, feel how good you feel now. That's a good one. And then place your hands at either side of that front foot. Push back into downward facing dog. Inhale, take the left foot forward, swivel the back foot, bend the front knee, moving into warrior one on the other side. Inhale to straighten that front leg. Exhale to bend. Keep going. On your next exhale, keep that knee bent. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, draw the shoulder blades together. Keep going. Then from here, reach back, interlace your fingers. Inhale, open up in the chest. Exhale, fold forwards, working your head towards your instep. Inhaling to come all the way back up, feeling how good you feel now. Hands at either side of that front foot, push back into downward facing dog. Breathing in, lifting your right leg all the way up to the sky. Breathing out, bring it forward so it's in between your hands, swivel the back foot, bend the front knee. So it's a wider stance this time. Heel to instep and your hips are facing the side of your mat. Go this way. Moving into warrior two. So looking along that front arm. And then you're going to curl your fingers around your thumbs. And then draw back your bow and arrows, your left elbow. Looking along that front arm. Nice deep breaths. This is going to help you feel more grounded. This works with the root chakra, Muladhara chakra. It's the color red. Grounding, safety, security, stability. It's where you are within a group or a home. This is really important for teenagers. Take the left hand to the back of the left thigh. Inhale, right arms up and over. Look up at the right palm, facing down, and draw that left shoulder away from your ear. Gently releasing. Take your right hand down to the inside of your right foot and the left arm's coming up and over into Utthita Parsvakonasana, extended side angle pose. Exhale to bend the elbow, inhale, straighten the arm. So exhale to bend, inhale, straighten. Inhaling to come all the way up, turning to the front and just checking in with yourself here. Turn your feet out just a little bit. Bend your knees, coming into goddess pose. I'm going to do a breath that's really good for internal that's going on for a lot of teenagers. So they're inhaling, take your arms out, and exhaling with a and then slowly coming up. Just get them to check in with yourself. It's a really good one for empowerment. Okay. Then turn your foot the other way now. We're going to do the other side. Bend the other knee. Open up your arms, looking along that front arm. Curl the fingers around your thumbs, drawing back your bow and arrows, looking along that left arm. Nice deep breath. From here, get your right hand to the back of the right thigh. Inhale, left arms up and over. Look up at the left palm. It's facing down. Draw that right shoulder away from your ear. Gently releasing. Take the left hand to the inside of the left foot. Right arms up and over into extended side angle pose. Exhale to bend the elbow. Inhale, straighten the arm. Keep going. So these ones where you're bending the elbows and using the breath, it's really helping with the intercostal muscles, helping them breathe more, breathe correctly, which is really important in days like this. Inhaling to come all the way back up, turning to the side of your mat again. And then you're going to interlace your finger behind your back. Inhale to open up in the chest. Exhaling to fold forwards. Prasarita Padmatanasana. Inhaling to come all the way back up. Just check in with yourself. Where are you now? You feel, hopefully you're feeling a bit lighter and brighter. So moving to the front of your mat, inhaling arms up and exhaling to fold forwards. Inhaling to come halfway up, lengthen through the spine, and exhaling to fold forward. So you're just staying here. You can bend your knees if you need to. Uttanasana, standing forward bend is very calming. So you can even take your peace fingers, wrap them around your big toes. Inhale, come halfway up, lengthen through the spine. Exhale to fold. Inhale, lengthening through the spine. All the way halfway up and exhaling to fold. Do this a couple more times. Place your hands onto your hips and inhaling, coming all the way back up. Just checking in. Now we're going to do some balancing poses. So balancing, you're going to take your right foot to your left ankle. We're going to work with the tree pose first of all. So either foot to ankle or to your calf or to your inner thigh, really pressing with equal pressure, or to your half lotus. Hands to your heart centers, arms all the way up to the sky. So you're either staying there or some of you might want to come forwards and touch the floor. You'll find more teenagers want to do this. If you try this in an adult's class, you might end up being the only one doing it. So you'll see the difference between teens and adults classes if you are teaching both. So you take your left fingertips into mudra, coming all the way back up. Your right hand's going to reach back that right foot, and we're flowing forwards into Natarajasana, dancer's pose. Take your hands onto your hips and lift that leg up to the sky. Shoulders relaxed. Gently releasing down. Just check in with yourself, see where you are now. Feel your feet connected to the earth. And then let's do the other side. So take your foot to your ankle, or to your calf, or to your inner thigh, or to your half lotus. Tuck in your tailbone, hands to your heart centers, arms all the way up the sky. Either stay here, looking at something that's not wobbling. So if your friend's wobbling, don't look at them. Either staying there, or you're slowly coming forwards to touch the floor. So this is good if you have issues or period pains or problems with your periods as well. This is a good pose for that. Inhaling to come all the way back up. Get the right fingertips into a mudra. Left hand's reaching back, that left foot flowing forwards into Natarajasana. Place your hands onto your hips and lift that leg up. Gently releasing. Excellent. So from here, move into the front of your mats again. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, come halfway up, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, hands on the mat and step back to plank pose. So hands underneath your shoulders, tuck the chin in and press back with your heels. Drop your knees, drop your chest, drop your pelvis. Oh, I need to move back so you can see me. All you can see is my wee legs popping out there. So moving into Shalabhasana, which is always sounds exotic. So lift your hands a couple of inches off the ground, feet a couple of inches or centimeters. It's more metric nowadays, isn't it? That's me showing my age. So this is another one that's good for menstrual health, reproductive health. It's also good for strengthening the lower back as well. And also because it's a belly down back bend, it stimulates the vagus nerve, which is related to mental health. So it calms you down. It's the back bends are meant to be invigorating, but belly down back bends also stimulate the vagus nerve. Gently bring your hands down. Rest your forehead down. Just check in with yourself again. So hands are going to go underneath your shoulders. Relax your shoulders and your jaw. We're going to do a mini cobra flow. Breathing in, lift up to mini cobra. Breathe out, stay there. Breathe in, come all the way up into cobra. And breathe out all the way down. So breathe in, mini cobra. Breathe out, stay there. Breathe in, come all the way up. And breathe out all the way down. So work with your own breath. And then stack your hands in front of you, rest your forehead down. And just allow any last things of tension in your body just to melt away. Feel your heart beating. And then raising your head, you're going to reach back to hold on to your ankles. So you know when you're teaching adults, you normally modify. Most teenagers can do that. If you see that they are struggling, you can get them to do half bow pose. but most will reach back and do this because they're still young. So you're holding onto your ankles, and as you inhale, push the shins away and come all the way up. So again, this is it's tridoshic, so it balances all three body types according to Ayurveda. But back bends are normally really invigorating. We don't want to exacerbate any sort of anxiety, but this is a really good one for, as I said, the vagus nerve. If you're belly down back bends, you're going to incorporate back bends when you should put back bends in most practices. This is a great way of helping with mental health. Slowly releasing down, stack the hands in front of you, rest your forehead down. Just feel the energy that's going through your body now. Do your legs feel lighter and brighter? Does your back feel warm? Just listen to the sensations in your body. If any thoughts or feelings come to you, accept them and set them free. Slowly pushing yourself up into a squatting position called Malasana. Take your arms out in front of you, rest your head down. Imagine that you're breathing in and out through your kidneys now. So this is a stress relieving pose. This is one that gives your adrenals a break. Teens love this one actually after they've been doing their belly down back bend stuff. Or if they've been doing more bigger back bends, if you're doing stuff when they're feeling tired in the afternoon, you want to help lift them up a little bit. They're done if they've been working with camel pose or wheel pose. So this is a great one that helps them just to reconnect into themselves. So slowly coming back up into your squatting position, we're going to work with a couple of forearm balancing. So as I've said to most of my teen teachers, you know, don't worry if you can't do it. You know, inversions as well. If you can't do headstands, you can't do certain things. It doesn't mean that you're a bad yogi. It also doesn't mean that you shouldn't teach it either. You know, so my nemesis pose is firelock, double pigeon. My knees are like that. I still teach it. It's a good ego thing. So what you do, if you can't do forearm balancing, don't worry, still incorporate it because teens love a bit of forearm balancing. I don't incorporate it into every class, but far more so than I would an adults class or a kids class. So you could show them as far as you can go with it, explain to them what to do, and there'll always be somebody in the class that can do it. And you can get them to demonstrate, and it makes them feel good too, okay? So we're gonna move into Bakasana, the crow pose. So you get this top part of your elbow to the inside of your knee. You're really spreading the fingers apart and pressing down to the base of your fingers, really connecting to the earth with your hands, lifting up with the hips and slowly coming up. If you can, cross your ankles, but it doesn't matter. Just be where you're at today. Slowly coming back down. And again, you need to sometimes warn teenagers or warn them to be really present and not caper and worry about what your mate's doing, because if they're not concentrating, they'll fall on their face and chafe their faces, which is never a good thing. So they can either stay working with that, or we can work with firefly pose, which real name is Titibhasana, which you can imagine invokes quite a lot of hilarity. If you want, if they're that way, if they're good kids and they're not, it's not going to end up where it goes into anarchy. Tell them it's Titibhasana and give them a wee smile. But if they are like a little bit, there's like you want them to respect you as well. So go with what the vibe of the class is, I would say. So either firefly, so a lot of my kids call it the spider as well, or you can say Titibhasana. So see where you're at. So you're coming into squatting position, take your arms through, and this rounded bit is going to go around the back of your heels. Try and get the flats of the whole of your hands onto the floor. You can sit back on them and just either stay here or one leg and then the other. Ideally, you should have straight legs, but my hips don't really seem to want to allow me to do that. So work with where you're at, just have fun with it. You can work with various other different forearm balances if that's your thing. Give yourself a little shake there. But it's the same with when you do wall work as well. Some teams adore wall work and they enjoy forearm balancing. I love them. I don't incorporate them so much into my practice because I'm really working, I'm more of a tantric hatha yoga person. Well, the way I practice is working with harnessing prana. So I'm more about that right now. But you'll either get kids that don't want to do it, they really don't like it, or they adore it. But I think you always need to pop in some of these things, and so you need to move it quickly and fast as well, so that the ones that don't like it don't get bored, but you don't want to do it too fast so that they're not present. So it's like trying to keep the flow without losing any of the others. Okay, so from here, take your legs out in front of you, moving into Janushasana. Take your right foot to the inside of your left thigh, flex that left foot towards you. Inhale to lengthen and exhale to fold. And then remembering to tell teenagers they don't have to be able to touch their toes here. You'll find if they're not doing lots of exercise, by the time they've reached primary 7, they're going to struggle with this pose. So sorry, it's my solicitor keeps trying to phone. So from here, keep with the breath, and as long as you've got so breathe in to lengthen the spine and breathe out just to let go. So just really work with your breath here and just breathe acceptance into where you are. Make sure your jaw and your shoulders are relaxed. So breathing in to come all the way up. And again, we're going to pop in another twist. So take that left leg, lift it up and take it over the bent knee. Breathe in, take your right arm up, take it across the body, either on top of the knee or to the outside edge of the thigh, and the left hand's on the floor behind you. Breathe in to lengthen and breathe out to twist. Breathe in to lengthen, breathe out to twist. So you're either staying there, or some of you might want to take this twist a little bit further and take that right hand through the little triangular space, and the left hand's going behind your back, and just deepen the twist, as long as you can still breathe as well. The breath is more important than how great you look in the mat, which is always good to know. Because I normally look like Bob Geldof on the mat, unfortunately. And then releasing. So you're going to take your left arm, sorry Bob Geldof, take your left arm to the inside of your left thigh, right hand on the floor behind you, breathe in to lengthen, and breathe out to twist the other way. So bring your awareness into your heart center now. Imagine you're breathing into your heart center, and you can even imagine the color green. It's the color of your Anahata chakra, your heart chakra. It's about love, compassion, forgiveness to others, but also to yourself. And then releasing, take your legs out in front of you. Get that left foot to the inside of that right thigh, flex that right foot towards you, breathing in to lengthen, breathing out to fold, relaxing the jaw and the shoulders, nice deep breaths. So with every inhale, lengthen through the spine, every exhale, just allow yourself to melt a little bit deeper. Inhaling to come all the way back up. Get that long right leg, lift it up and take it over the bent knee. The left arm's going up, it's going to cross your body either on top of the knee or the outside edge of that thigh. Right hand's on the floor behind you. Breathe in to lengthen, breathe out to twist. So either staying there or taking that left hand through that little triangular space, and the right arm's going back to try and hold on. Make sure you can still breathe. So me and the teens call this the yoga pretzel. This is really good for the digestion, for anyone who has like stress related stomach things, like they tend to be constipated a lot, as well as because they go to the burger van and stuff like that for lunch, and aren't eating healthy a lot of the time. So releasing, take your right arm to the inside of your right thigh, left hand's on the floor behind you. Breathe in to lengthen and breathe out to twist. Breathe in to lengthen, breathe out to twist. And again, breathing into your heart area. Imagine you're breathing the color green into your heart. And then release. Take your legs out in front of you. You can bend your knees slightly if you need to, because you're going to put your hands over your toes. Inhale to lengthen through the spine. Exhale to fold. Inhale to lengthen, coming all the way back up. Exhale to fold. So you're doing this a few times. Dynamic Paschimottanasana, seated forward bend. So you can do it fluidly, not rigidly. Your next exhale, stay down there and breathe into the back of your body. Imagine that you're breathing light into the darkness. Breathing in to come all the way back up and just checking in, see how you are. Then you're going to lie on your backs, knees bent, heels tucked into your bottom, feet are hip width apart, arms down by your side. Inhale, lift your hips up and your arms all the way up. Exhale, bring your arms and your hips all the way back down. Keep going. So nice. Gentle movements connecting into your breath. So remember the breath is the bridge to the mind, and your mind is the bridge to the soul. So the more you can calm down your breath, the more you can calm down your mind, and then you'll be able to connect in deeper to who you truly are and really listen to your intuition and help you make wiser choices, which is always handy. So draw your knees into your belly now. Give yourself a big hug. And then open your arms out like wings. And as you breathe out, drop your knees to the right and look along your left wing. Breathe in, bring your knees back. Breathe out, drop your knees to the left and look along your right wing. Keep working with this movement. And slowly and gently coming all the way back up. Place your hands to the outside of your feet or the inside of your feet, because you're coming into happy baby pose. So just be aware of the lower part of your back connecting into the earth. Then gently releasing. Take your legs out in front of you, your hands down. If you've got blankets or cushions, get yourself all nice and cozy, because it's time for relaxation, Shavasana. So just get nice and comfortable. So I'm going to work with something called golden thread breaths. You're breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth with a, as if you're breathing out golden thread. So breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. So keep your eyes closed and listen to the sound of my voice. Feel the calm surround you entirely. Any outside sounds you may hear are of little importance to you as you journey into deep relaxation of the mind and of the body. Allow the feeling of relaxation to sweep over your entire body. Notice your scalp relax, your forehead, your ears, your face, and your jaw. Completely letting go and relaxing deeply. Allow your tongue to relax and notice how the roof and even the sides of your mouth are soothed by the relaxation. Feel your throat relax. Continue to notice and follow the relaxation as it sweeps over your shoulders, chest, arms, hands, and each finger. It sweeps over your tummy, your hips, your pelvic area, your entire back and behind. Feel the relaxation travel down your thighs, your knees, your calves, your ankles, the tops of your feet, the soles of your feet. Feel how the relaxation caresses each and every toe. Your entire body is feeling loose, limp, and relaxed in every way. Now, as your body continues to relax even further, we're going to go on a journey in our mind. But before we embark on this journey, we must let go of any negative thoughts we hold. Just as in life, before beginning any new adventures, we must make room for that adventure. And this includes releasing any feelings of anger, fear, sadness, rejection, or any other feelings that block your personal growth. So now, imagine allowing any anger, sadness, fear, or negativity to just drain away from your body, mind, and spirit. You no longer have room for those things in your life. You're reinventing your relationships and attracting new positive people and friends. So in this moment, forgive anyone who needs forgiving and shine healing, love, and light all around your body and see that shine out any negativity you may have been holding on to. Allow your body to be full of light, shining brightly, bringing forward joy, happiness, and peace, which reside in your true self, which resides in all of us. Feel as your body radiates calm. You're now at peace and ready to begin. Imagine in front of you a scene. It is a new scene of your life, and this new scene is the scene of the new, confident, friendly, healthy you. You seem to just magnetize good, positive people into your life. Loyal, caring, and upbeat friends who stick with you, love you, and appreciate you for who you are. You know it's safe to show the real you, honest, dynamic, confident, friendly, and secure in who you are. Life feels good to you, and you're grateful for its abundance of opportunities. You can feel these amazing opportunities coming to you every single day. You're attracting them into your life with your good attitude, positive vibration, and high self-confidence. See yourself surrounded with wonderful friends, laughing, sharing, and enjoying each other's company, having a wonderful time. You experience true, deep friendships. You feel a deep change within you and find yourself happier and more optimistic than before. You're communicating your needs and feelings in every relationship you have, with your friends, your family, your teachers, everyone you meet. Every relationship is improving and becoming remarkable. You're feeling amazing with all the supportive, loving people in your life. At the same time, you know that everyone who is in your life is there to enjoy life with you. You feel true independence because you know you are whole and complete already, and you do not need others to feel whole or complete, but you gladly share your full life with them. You have a deep inner knowing that your life is blessed and that you're meant to do great things and that you are truly amazing. You don't feel the need for outside approval because you feel approved of and loved at your core level. As each day unfolds itself to you, you discover it is even better than the last. Happiness, joy, opportunities, wonderful friends, and fantastic relationships are all yours. Now, bringing this wonderful feeling with you, bring your awareness back to this room. Taking a deep breath, open your eyes when you're ready, feeling wonderful, positive, and fully refreshed. So start to make any movements you need to. Stretch your arms over your head, away from your body. Stretch your feet away from your body. Pulling your knees in and giving yourselves a wee hug. Rolling from side to side to loosen up your sacrum. And then rolling onto your right side into recovery position. And then gently pushing yourselves up to seated positions. Placing your hands into your heart centers. And we're going to end with an Om. Here we go. Namaste. Thank you for practicing yoga with me, guys. So, I've awakened the inner teenager in you. So you'll see that it's a bit faster than you would with an adults class. You don't have to. You explain the alignment, but not so specific because they don't want to be as if they're being told what to do, and they don't want to be given too many rules in that sense. So it's about, keeping the structure there, but it's less structure than an adults class, but you're using the rights and the lefts, and they like to learn about new breathing techniques. They like to know the reason why things are. They like what each pose does for them. And they sometimes need to be challenged as well. If you give them the option, the easy option, a lot of them will take it. As I said, mostly the teen girls, they'll be like, you give them the easy option, they'll do the easy option, even though they can do it. It'll be like, and especially if one of their mates can't be bothered, they'll copy their mate. There's a lot of peer stuff going on as well. So, but there will be maybe people who are less able-bodied or larger that can't do a deeper twist. So when you notice that, you can work through like modifications, take it to this step, stay there, enjoy where you're at, or take it to this. So give them it in that way. So the people who aren't able to take it to the full expression don't feel that they're not good enough. So I think that's something to be aware of. Yeah. So has anyone got any questions? Yeah. Okay. So we'll Lisa, have you got a question?
No, I was just thinking that you didn't run through some sun sales, but but every class is different. So you might have done them.
Yeah. So some days I'll think, today is a day for moving. They need to move because it might be a really tamasic day, like really day, and they need to move in their bodies. So I might do more of a vinyasa based class. They like to do some Ashtanga sort of stuff. Teens like to do Ashtanga and things like that. But I really felt I wanted to give them that kind of vibe of the movement. So it was more about using your body to connect in with the breath. So it really just helps you settle in with yourself and feel a bit more vibrant. And that's kind of, I think, the way of the world right now. It's almost like they need to do work with their bodies, but they also need to connect in with themselves. So finding that connection of doing the dynamic version first before you move into the static actually allows them to, their heads, they've got busier heads than we do, and they've got all these different things. They've got worries about the future more than we do, you know, and then they've been told you've got to do this, don't do that. So it's like, by giving them talent, giving them breath techniques, so breathe in, straighten the elbow, breathe out, so and then leave them to do it, and then when they are in it, they've worked with the breath, and it's actually stilled their mind a little bit. So if you go straight into it, and you'll notice that the holds aren't really held very long because they don't have that attention span. But by doing a few dynamics before you get them to go into the static, allows them to be in the static. Okay. You know, it's so yeah. You can. I've got one yin for teens, and you'd think yin for teens at yoga, but they love yin yoga. But once they've got used to the yoga that you like, hatha yoga or, you know, vinyasa yoga, if a lot of them, if they're quite kapha and they're quite generally chilled out anyway, they would love the yin and they go to that. If you give yin to a bunch of teenagers who aren't used to yoga, they would be, oh, this is boring, not going back again. You know, they would find it incredibly boring. So get them to move first, get them to connect them with the asana first, and flow, have some challenges and fun stuff. Throw in the fun stuff that a lot of yoga teachers go, or a lot of yogis go, oh, that's not real yoga. The stuff that people, the people that are judging people for throwing in the moves, and actually, yeah, throwing your head around, your foot around the back of your neck isn't what yoga is all about. But getting teens to access yoga through their bodies before that is the way forward. You wouldn't introduce them into a really slow restorative or yin class if they've never done yoga before, because they'll go, tried yoga once, hated it. It's hell of a boring, you know. I remember I just had Kaya, so Kaya's 18 now, but I've been practicing yoga for a long time. It was just, so I hadn't even become a children's yoga instructor yet. So, and we just moved to Stonehaven, and there was a local yoga teacher, and I thought, and there was a creche, and I went to the creche, popped Kaya into the creche, and thought, oh, I've got an hour of yoga, great. And honestly, this lady she spoke about eating, and you should eat flax seeds, and you should do this, and has anyone got any pain? And there'd be loads of old ladies, I've got this wrong with me because of this. And it'd be half an hour of the class would be her talking really slowly about her life. Like, you know, if you've ever watched the Reverend I Am Jolly, so, and Ricky Fulton, back in the early 90s, it was a Scottish comedian, and on New Year on Hogmanay, and he'd be this Reverend I Am Jolly, hello, you know, and it would be like, and I'd come out of there, not have done many poses, and feeling the need to go home and do yoga. And that'd been my time, because I had a new baby, you don't often have time. And I was like, oh, and I remember thinking, if that was been my first ever class that I'd gone to yoga, I would have thought yoga was awful, and I wouldn't have wanted to go back. So make sure that you spark the desire. Some of my kids' yoga guys have gone on to become adult yoga teachers. You know, so I'm so proud. You know, some of my guys that I've taught yoga to since they were kids are now in their 20s. I've sound like a right old bugger now, and have still retained that passion and teach yoga to other people now, which really is like, oh my God, that's so wonderful. So yeah, so you want to be that person that inspires them to love yoga, to share it with others, and to have that as part of the rest of their life. You don't want to be the one that they went, oh, I tried yoga once. So yeah, get them to feel things in their body, like move their body, and afterwards go, check in and see how you feel now. You know, something that they really love to do is Kundalini yoga. So, but you're going to have a Kundalini session. Gary, we did a Kundalini session for mental health, didn't we? And yeah, I was doing a lot of crazy stuff because I trained with I used to do workshops with a Kundalini yoga teacher, and I've done stuff with Gurmit Kaul-Khorsa before. I love Kundalini yoga, but I'm not a Kundalini yoga teacher officially. I've just trained with lots of different people, and I love it. So I pop some Kundalini techniques. Somebody in Malaga is trying to call me.
Can I just share something?
It's that holiday.
Well, maybe I was, yesterday I was thinking of holidays, wasn't I? I was saying about, yeah. So yeah, Carrie.
Sorry, I was just going to say one thing I found might be useful to share since I've been teaching the teens. I definitely find that they really like it when you give them things they can take away with them back home and say, this is something you can do, even if you're at school and you're feeling a bit anxious. You can go to the toilet and you can sit in the, do some breathing techniques. So I'll just give them little examples of how they might use it when they're away, and they seem to really, really resonate. And whether they do it, I don't know, but they seem to really like that.
They do.
So the whole like moving and I love probably why I like teaching them is because it's all very flowy and moving. You don't ever stay anywhere too long. And I literally maybe only do 2 or 3 sun salutations. And that is generally just to get their bodies ready for the other moving like the moving cobra flow, stuff like that. Because they can get all that stuff online all day long if that's what they want to do. There's loads of it out there. And sometimes it's good to say to them, Adrienne, for example, she's amazing. If you want to do more of this or that, or try some different variations. But I think they quite like having something completely different every single week, never knowing what they're going to get. So just want to share that, really.
Yeah, they love you to throw in a curveball. So give them, so you have like almost like a skeleton of a class, like how you would structure it. They like the routine of like knowing the structure, like they come in, and for me, I do cards with them, and then we do like maybe breathing or a Kundalini kriya or a warm up, and then maybe some salutation or maybe some movements, but they know. But then I'll say, right, when we're going to do, so it's like today we did forearm balancing. So I wouldn't do forearm balancing with them every week. That would be another set. I teach in segments. So you can remove that forearm balancing segment, doesn't have to be in that day. So that could be a wall work day, or that could be a day you're doing Kundalini. And sometimes they'll say to me, you'll turn up, you'll think I'm going to do this class, and they'll say, can we do that Kundalini for SAD syndrome, please? And we loved that, and it really has been helping us. Of course, and that's what you would do. But you would, so it's teach it in little segments and make sure you've got something else to give them every week. That sort of, yeah, you're right, Kerry. They do. It's if you came in and you taught them your way. And this is the thing, people aren't like there's so many 200-hour teachers out there teaching teens. I'm boring them shitless because they're, and I'm not judging them because they don't, but it's like teens are different to adults, and they need to, but they're also different to kids. They don't want to be spoken to like kids, but they also need to be held in a different way than adults do. And they also need to feel more inspired. They need to be engaged, but also they need to be engaged and inspired, but also led to find that calm and peaceness within them. So it's a fine line. So it is very complex, but that's why I really enjoy teaching them. You don't know what you're going to get, but teens are amazing. They're our future. So yeah, people give, teens are given a bad name, but actually, why? They're just trying to find themselves. So, it's like, and we all make mistakes. So teenagers are wired, their brains are wired to make mistakes. So let's help them be okay with themselves and be more self-aware so that they can actually try and make wiser choices. And whether they do or not, you'll know that they're held in a space for that hour there's no blame, shame or judgment, because there's too much of that going on in the world right now as it is, you know. So give them inspiration and peace, you know, and they still want to have fun. This is the thing. So they still, so that you need to, it's like almost you need to sneak it in subliminally, playfulness. You know, this is the thing, it's subliminal play, because we all have an inner child, but teens don't want to accept that because they're trying to transition into adulthood. So if you try to do too babyish things with them, they would shut down. But if you try to do too many adult things, they'd be bored. So it's almost like you need to put in the playfulness without them realizing it's play. It's fun, it's playful, but they're being respected. They like to be respected, you know. They're mini adults in a sense, or they're going to be. So, but then they're also coming out of a child phase, so they're a little bit scared and need nurtured too. So teenagers are a whole paradox, and so is, you know, if you've read the Bhagavad Gita, you know, it's all about paradoxes. Life is a paradox. Teenagers are like more of an expression of humans than adults and kids. They're you know, they're not broken people at all. They're actually, when we're speaking about Samkhya philosophy, Purusha, you know, universal consciousness, is everything that all it is. And then we have Prakriti, which is everything that changes. So it's what we can say, it's things that everything that can change. So it's what's made up of the gunas, you know, when things are tamasic, rajasic, or sattvic. But Prakriti can also be called creative potential. And that's why I think teenagers are very much like an embodiment of Prakriti. They're so full of creative potential, but they don't know it. So it's like allowing them to connect into their own creative potential. Yeah, getting all deep and heavy there on a Thursday, am I? But yeah.
So, can I ask? So when you're teaching it, not online but in person, do you go round? I presume that it's hands off again, like children. It's just more verbal correction.
Yeah, they don't really. You don't really know that. This is the thing. I was teaching yoga for mental health last week. You don't know what might have happened to them. There might be some trauma there. You don't want to go in and touch them in a way, and even if it's you just to adjust. And also teenagers, they're so used to being told what not to do or getting into trouble from their parents or their teachers. If you go in and adjust, that's basically them thinking you're adjusting them because they're doing something wrong. And so you're changing the I don't really go in and adjust too much anyway, because I work with the pranic field and energy. If you go in and touch someone, immediately their pranic energy, their energy field changes. So going into somebody's aura changes the vibrational frequency. So getting them to own and feel their own energy, because sometimes their parents can be going through stuff, and they, if they're empathetic, they're holding on to some of their parents' crap or their siblings, and so allowing them to find their own energetic field is actually keeping them in their, getting their electromagnetic field large and healthy and big, means that actually it helps them to be able to cope with things better too. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of adjusting. One thing that they do like, though, I will say, is and I'll say you don't, if you don't want to get this, put your arms out. Okay, so after we've done wall work, like going up the wall, doing handstands and peacock's feather and headstands and stuff like that, I get them to go into child's pose. And then a really nice, they really love this adjustment, so they ask for it. So it's when you go in, and I wish I had a human, you go in and just come down onto their sacrum. So imagine my fingertips are their bottom, and this fingertips their head. come in with your body, and you breathe deeply and press down, and at the same time you move your hands this way, so it actually really lengthens out this sacral part. So it's like a movement like that, but you're actually putting pressure down. It really releases their spine, and they just absolutely adore that. But so it'll be, some of them will go, can you do that thing for us? And I'll go, okay. So then and it also allows them, if they go all the way into it and I go round one at a time, means that they're staying in it for that little bit longer. And so it means that they're chilling out a bit longer. And that pressure on here, on Ajna chakra, it also stimulates the vagus nerve, which is related to mental health too. Which is also related to the ocular cardiac nerve. So any pressure, we were, I was telling my other guys last week that, you see children bashing their heads off the cots. It's called the stim. It's called stim. That's them trying to soothe themselves, because this pressure here or behind the eyeballs, how you see kids go like that? So pressure on the eyeballs or here actually is stimulating the ocular cardiac nerve, which goes straight in to reaching the vagus nerve. It releases serotonin, and it's like the calming happiness thing to do. So being in child's pose and having pressure there is so good for them, so that's quite helpful. But you can say, if I'm going to go round, I'm going to help you with a nice back release. It's going to help you relax deeper. But if you don't want me to come around and do this for you in child's pose, just put your arms out. So at the end of the day, the ones that, when they've got they're all in child, nobody's going to turn around and go, oh, see, she didn't want to be touched. Nobody knows that the other person has said they don't want to be touched. So there's an unspoken, and nobody's being singled out. So I would say that would be the thing, because with teens, you've got to really be aware of trauma, because that's round about the time that trauma kind of is, that's when it's at its height in some ways, if they're really in a, they've got all these hormones going around them as well. So yeah, I would say adjusting, not the greatest, but they love that one. But if you're adjusting like you would in a vinyasa or in a ashtanga or something like that class, I would say no, because in their heads, they're thinking you're adjusting because they're doing it wrong. And they think that they're being told, My daughter Kaya phoned me last night, and everything she said was really negative. Like, oh, well, and every time I gave her an idea, have you thought about doing this? Oh, and then she'd make out that I was arguing with her, and I'm like, I'm only trying to see the positive in it. Well, you're just not understanding, are you? So even if you're trying to be helpful, teenagers will think you're being an asshole. Colette, are you trying? Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I've got a 2-year-old now, and you know what 2-year-olds are like. But she's my second. So with my first, we sailed it actually, but she was my main focus. But with Emilia, the youngest, I'm busy. I'm cooking. I'm studying. I've been reading the book The Whole Brain Child.
Okay, yeah.
And I've only got a couple of chapters in, but one of the techniques is they're talking about the right brain and the left brain. And I changed my technique a week ago with her, and it really, really helped. And it's literally acknowledging that right brain. So I go down to her eye level and I do, oh, is that making you sad? Is that making you cross? And her face changed. She looked at me as if to say, Mummy is really seeing me and she's really listening to me. And then I'm bringing in the logic of, would you like me to help you with that and do your shoes for you? Or, and it's really changed things, just understanding that's like how the brain works and sort of acknowledging how they might be suffering a little bit, which I wasn't listening before. I was sort of saying, don't be silly, Mummy will help you, I'll do it for you. But I wasn't acknowledging the feelings that she was going through because I was busy. I felt like I didn't have the time. But massively changed, and her tantrums have calmed down, and we're connecting a lot better.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Look, Kaya's very cerebral, she's very intelligent, but she's she'd hate me for telling you this, but I probably will have told you, I'll tell you in the pre-records, she's probably on the spectrum with Asperger's, very high functioning. She lives with her boyfriend and has friends, and you know, and she always has a job, and she, you know, she drives her own car, has a dog. You know, she's 18, so it's not like but she lacks empathy, compassion, and she finds it really difficult to articulate feelings. She doesn't do eye contact very well and doesn't do physical touch. So even as a baby, I used to have to feed her with a bottle with her back against me. So she's never done, if I try and cuddle her, she comes, you know, so she's a very complex character. So when she's trying to tell me all her negative stuff, you know, she doesn't tell you in an emotional way. It's like she's telling you almost like fact-based, but she's angry about it. So I try and connect in, and that makes her more angry. So Asperger's people, when they feel out of control or things aren't in a routine, they have like meltdowns, like they get really angry, and she gets that. So I have to try and reach in and try and get her to be calm, and try, because I'm a very emotional person. We're both, she was definitely put on this planet as my lesson, and I was put on hers as a lesson. It's so interesting, isn't it, when you have children, that you learn so much from them.
Definitely. They bring everything out of you that you need to work on, don't they?
Definitely, definitely. One of the things Kerry's been doing the moonology and mythology with me, and so was Ellie. And one of the things, you know, I work with the moon and the planets, and something that's really found, you know, I kind of discovered it this year. You know, we've discovered a lot this year. The north nodes and the south nodes of your chart. It's a game changer, isn't it, Kerry? So it's very much, if you find out where your south node and your north node it's what your karmic path is. So what you've brought into this world that you're used to from your past lives. This is me just sharing some stuff. And what you're used to, but it's what you should be, that's your south node, but what you should be breaking free from. But it's also your talents too. So you're breaking free from it, but you've got talents from that experience. And you've got to try and move towards your dharmic path, what you're put in this planet for, and that's your north node. And it sometimes feel a little bit. So my north node is Capricorn, and my south node is Cancer. And Cancer is about nurturing, mothering, and loving, and making sure everyone else is okay. And that's what I've always felt really comfortable with, being a mom and being married and all that. And my whole life is like that. But my north node, my Capricorn, is I'm supposed to become more of an entrepreneur, look at business things and stuff like that. Yeah. But use my south node skills to do that. And I'm feel like I'm getting there, and I didn't realize. But Kaya, my daughter, when I was doing this, I was like, I'm going to find out what my kids are. So Kaya, who we both have this like, oh, I know that when she's older, we'll probably get on a lot better. Her north node is Gemini, which means her south node is Sagittarius. And if you're a south node Sagittarian, you come into this world as a bit of an old soul. You love to study, and you've traveled in your past lives, and you've maybe been a big, like you come from education and a teacher and everything, and so you feel really comfortable with almost a bit. You don't do small talk. It's all deep stuff, and you don't do shallow stuff, and it's all about studies. And Kaya just doesn't. She'd rather be inside studying than with her pals. Yeah. So she's North Node Gemini, and North Node Gemini is about being more like communicative, being around people, community, and having fun, being more childlike. So I've been trying to get her to do more fun things, and then I've been thinking maybe that's not in her nature. Maybe I shouldn't be trying to push her. Maybe I should be just letting her be. But finding out that her North Node is supposed to be learning how to be a little bit more superficial and have that inner child thing, is interesting, but my north node, no, my rising sign, which is your most important one, not your sun sign, is Gemini. So that's what I come across. I'm a Leo, but I come across Gemini rising. Hello, I love people. And that's why I irritate her so much, because I'm her north node.
Oh yeah.
So so if you go into cafeastrology.co.uk, it's called Cafe Astrology.
Okay.
It's either .co.uk or .com, and you can actually find out your whole astrological chart.
Yeah.
And it'll tell you what your south node or your north node is, and you can do it for your partners and your family. Oh my God, you start really understanding people and seeing, being able to know how to communicate with them better.
Yeah.
Another thing just now, because of the way the planets are they're all a little bit crazy. Astrologically, apparently, we're supposed to be working on our Saturn stuff. Saturn is our challenges in life. It's about structure. It's about what we were born, the challenges we were born into. And if we work on our Saturn, by the time the planets are going to go, there's going to be a lot of craziness, and then there's something hitting us on the 21st of December, almost like, right, if you've been doing your work, you're going to be okay. And so finding out where Saturn lies in your chart also, and mine is like, it's absolutely crazy. I'm like, oh my God, it's a lot of your shadow work stuff, but
yeah. And then
very interesting.
My yoga teacher, she's an Ayurvedic teacher.
Is she? Oh, it is.
I learned a lot from her, and she's told me what you've just said, but she said that the energies shift as of next year. There's quite a big, and she's talked about the age of Aquarius.
Yeah, that happens on the 21st of December. So
yeah.
It's so basically the alignment of the planets on the 21st of December is apparently the same alignment as when Jesus was born, and lots of other big things that were supposed to have happened in the world. So we're moving into the age of Aquarius. So this weekend, apparently, there's a lot of big stuff happening for us. So we're going to be having challenges that we need to look at, but then we don't have to worry too much, because we've got time until the 21st of December to work on our stuff. And it's Saturn we need to work on. So if you go into find out where your north and south nodes are, it's amazing. That's your life path. And as yogis, the Bhagavad Gita is about performing your dharma on the battle correctly, on the battle of life, and battlefield of life. And that's what we're doing. So everyone's going, what's my dharma? What's my dharma? Well, just go and look at go and look at what's your north node.
I've never heard of the north and south now, because I haven't really got into astrology. But yesterday I did see something on the internet and I read about it, and now you've mentioned it, so it's come into my radar this week. So maybe it is something.
Wow, yeah. And that's the thing. I think you find out things, or things happen in the right time when you're ready, don't they? Because I'm like, I wish I'd known all this before. But then if you'd known before, then you would have acted differently, and you might not have had the challenges that you needed to grow or evolve. And I think we're given.
I have a really good friend, and we've got her three and my older three are the same age, and we both did our yoga training together. And she said, why didn't we know this then? Why didn't we do more yoga 28 years ago, 25 years ago? And I said, I know, I wish I knew now what I knew then, but perhaps I needed those experiences to be the person I am now.
Well, that's the thing. I think it gives you the depth of your character. And, I always say challenges are opportunities for spiritual growth. So, and if we were given that, someone's like, God, people should be given when they're at school, instead of having to do some things like, I've never used pi since I've left school. Have you? Things like that. If you're told what your north and south node are, here you go. That's what your karmic path is. This is what you'd be good at. So use these skills. But you're working towards that. Right, okay. it would make life easier.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, you wouldn't be making the choices, because life is about choices. It's like you look back, I've studied quite a lot on Dharma and all these sorts of things, and on your deathbed, there's people on their deathbed look back. They don't go, oh yeah, this and that. They look back and look at the choices that they made, and they could be bad choices or good choices, but every choice that you make has an action, a karmic, something karmically. So basically, the ancient kings were given back in the day the Dharma code, which is something that I apply to my life. And if you try and apply that before you make a decision, it helps. This is what the kings were given to help rule their kingdom. Our kingdoms are our internal self, but also as our family or friends or jobs. So it's applying these 4 rules. The Dharma code is ahimsa, non-violence, satya, which is truthfulness, but that's like owning your truth, speaking your truth too. Saucha, which is it's also, as well as it being about cleanliness, it's about clarity. So the more your mind is clear too, the more you'll be able to do stuff. So it's like doing your pranayama, your meditations, and tapas. So that's not just the Spanish dish, which I really love. It's the burning spiritual ardor. It's having the passion and the drive to just do it, So if you have the passion for it, you've got the clarity and the purity, you're coming from a non-harming place and a truthful place, you're gonna make wiser choices, and life's about making wise choices. But when we don't make wise choices, we just have to forgive ourselves and just keep going.
Simon Hass wrote a good book, doesn't he, about it's the Dharma code, and he talks about and I really enjoyed the book. It was very clear. Yeah, I've read his book. I loved his. That's one of on your reading list, like the things for your 300 hours to. And Dark Night of the Soul is one I really want to read of his as well. I'm reading that one at the moment.
Are you? Oh, you have to let me know how you get on, because I've been wanting to. I've got so many books to read. the usual. I think we're all that way inclined, aren't we?
Yeah. I just wish I had that brain, where you can look and just scan it and take it in, and you can just. I must have about 10 books on the go that are, I need to really. There's so many things I can't absorb quick enough. I know. I keep buying more books or downloading them on Audible, and there's so much. There's so much out there. It's amazing, isn't it? So it's knowing what to read. So it's great to hear. So, but the Dark Soul of the Night is one that I really wanted to read as well, because the Dharma code is brilliant. So really good. So. Right, guys, so it's been really lovely to chat to you. I really enjoyed chatting to you. Have you got any more questions about the teen yoga? I've kind of gone off on a tangent about life. Sorry to Ellie and Richard, you're going to have to listen to the replay. They'll be like, oh, shut up. God, at least they can fast forward. So yeah, I'm going to post all the stuff for your for the first day, and then either in the evening or first thing in the morning you'll get your daily thing. But if you've got any questions of any of the things, you know the scenario, Lisa and Kay, with the way I've done it with the pre-records, that you can just ask after you've watched it. Ask about it, and I tend to try and get back as soon as I can. I'm on granny duties this afternoon, but I will be checking my phone. So
good luck.
I love it. Can't wait. We're going to be searching for fairies today. So. Right, yeah. So has anyone got any questions before we head? It's been so lovely to see you, and lovely group again. And so I'll see you live 5 o'clock on Sunday, but you can easily speak to me before then. Okay, but just enjoy it, and I hope I don't sicken you with your voice. Kate, and Ellie, you guys will be so sick of me by now. I'm so sorry.
No, not at all.
Oh, so lovely to see you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have fun doing it. Okay, and embrace your inner teenager. Okay.
Thanks, Louisa.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.